Arihant.
Jyoti from Arihant Capital. And yeah, thank you so much to giving us opportunity to host you first time in Arihant Bharat Connect Conference hosted by Arihant. So we do it every 6 months. So thank you for the opportunity once again. And just before we start the call, I welcome you all to the call of the Magellanic Cloud Limited. Today, from the management, we have Mr. Joseph. He's a executive director and MD, and Mr. Rana. He's a chief excellence officer, and Sanjay sir. He's a CFO, but due to some urgency, he is not able to make it today. And along with Smith is there. He's handle IR part for the Magellanic Cloud. So before I hand over call to the management as our layout of the flow, that initial, as this is a new company for most of our participants. So initial we'll start with the brief about the company, then current development about the company, and then we'll jump to for the Q&A. And Q&A, I will request all to please raise hand to ask question. And then sir, you can take it over from here onward. And before you start, just let you know that time constraint till 10:55. So we have to end at 10:55. So till that time we can do it. Thank you so much, sir.
Great, great. Thank you for the opportunity and the invite, Jyoti, for presenting it to Arihant Capital.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
You can go ahead and give a short brief on the company, and then participants can ask a question.
Yep, sure. I think, hi, everybody. This is the Magellanic Cloud's CEO, Managing Director, and the promoter for Magellanic Cloud. I do not want to take much time doing the presentation file and all of that. I just wanted to give a brief overview about the company. Or do you want me to go through the presentation PPT file?
Yes, sir. Actually, most of our participants not aware about the company. So just requesting if you can give 10-15 minutes brief. So it would be great for us. And in future also, it will be, whenever we will be initiating any meeting for you. So it will be good.
Great, great. So
Joe,
let me, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, okay.
Rana, do you want to take on the new one or presentation or?
Let's go with the new one, Joe. It's a latest one.
Yeah, can you do the present if you have handy?
Yes, I will present. I think you can take over the discussion.
Yeah,
Let me know when you can see my screen. I hope the deck is visible.
Yes, sir.
It's the entire screen is visible, Rana.
Actually.
Let me just give me a minute.
Yeah. Perfect, Rana.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So as a Magellanic Cloud, we are not just it's a holding company with the three different domains and industries that we are into. Regular ITES with staffing is what we do, like any other companies like Infosys, TCS, but in a small to medium, I would say. And then we have a e-surveillance domain where we are doing an end-to-end monitoring of the ATMs or any kind of facilities, managing those things. And then we are into the drone manufacturing. Drone we have done right from the R&D and innovation, and then carrying the, especially focusing on the logistic drones. So that is the main core fundamentals of ours. As you know, that we are, as I said, that we are into these three segments. We are also having a security monitoring platform, which we wanted to sell it to anybody in the entire world. This platform is the re-innovation from our existing utilization so that it can be utilized for anybody with AI analytics. The portfolio of companies that we have is JNIT Technologies and Motivity Labs in the IT/ITES, IVIS and Provigil being into the security and e-surveillance kind of a mode. Scandrone is pretty much into the, all of these are subsidiary companies. Scandrone is pretty much into the drone manufacturing. Scanalytics is the one that we are getting now as a security monitoring platform with queuing system, emergency, how urgency is the typical type of alert, and everything coming from the edge, generating an event or an alarm if it is a threat detected or suspicious activity being detected. So we are in about 40 years. The journey is what I'll go tell with 577 crores revenue with 23-24, 1,600 professionals, 600 plus clients, and the year-on-year growth is 31%. That is about the holistic view of Magellanic Cloud. If you can go ahead, Rana, next one. Yeah. So how we have succeeded seed to the success, basically the inception of software development and IT consulting was where we have started in 2010, 2015. 2016 in the time frame is when we have done the reverse merger of JNIT Technologies into a company called South India Projects Limited, which is rebranded as a Magellanic Cloud. The name Magellanic Cloud, the reason is the sky is the limit and imagination is what we look at, I look at. And the goal to success is all about doing, owning things and innovating and acquiring. So with this, we wanted to grow multifold, multi-bagger growth is how we were looking at. So, and pretty much focusing on technology and innovation is the core area with cutting edge technology stack. Could be AI, ML, generative AI, and anything that it is coming in the drones and all of these areas. So that is the goal. And we started expanding from 2019, 2020 as well with the acquisition of Motivity Labs. With the headcount of 70 people, now we are almost like 450 to 500 people. That is the huge growth. And with the revenue that it was about 4.5 million to now about 30 million. So this is the kind of, we acquire and do an innovative services within part of it and then scale it up to a higher kind of thing. Then with that success, I think we have done another, in 2022, we did an acquisition called IVIS and Provigil with a acquisition cost of 327 crores to be precise. And with the total revenues of 100 crores approximately, and with the PATs of 50% of it is EBITDA. And then in the same similar kind of thing, we have started off the drone research R&D investment. And we did a 70% acquisition of Scandrone in 2023. And rest of them is being held by the founders and promoter of Scandrone, who is the key, multiple key holders. Then how do we accelerate and accelerate from now? So our key accelerators are doing the expected growth that we are pretty much envisioning is 3 to 4 times in the next 2 years with the headcount and as well probably the revenues and margins. That is what we wanted to carry. That is the ambitions that we are to have. Scanalytics is another platform that we are launching now, and we are taking it up to scale it in the US, Europe, and other global countries. That is the area and direction. Rana, next one, please. This is our team. Myself, Joseph Sudhir Tumma, being short name called as Joe. I am the chairman, global CEO and promoter for Magellanic Cloud. Sanjay Chauhan, the CFO, Sanjeev Bhandari coming as a Chief Strategic Officer, and Rana, Chief Excellence Officer, who is on the call, Syed Amiruddin, Operating Officer, And Krishna Prasad is handling the technology, so CTO. Arjun Nayak is the Chief Operational Officer and the co-founder for Scanron and the R&D main innovator in the drone side of it. That is Arjun Nayak. So this is our co-visionary team. In the surveillance, we do serve BFSI, retail, healthcare, and doing an actionable insights apart from giving you the security vulnerable and all of that. We also give you a lot of insights. When did the event happen and how much? And we also deter and prevent any kind of theft vandalism. So we have almost avoided or theft prevented of thousands of them. And every day we have 5 lakh events or alerts that comes that we do. About 25,000 sites in the surveillance that we manage. And as I told, IT, yes, we are specialized in Gen AI and enterprise software, digital transformation, then IT, AI, ML, and we have to keep innovating and focusing on the Gen AI side of it. Now, as I was telling about 600 plus, if you look at onshore and offshore, that is what the Motivity Labs and JNIT with about almost close to the highest revenues in that is coming from. So that is what it is. And recently we have done a full detail of drone manufacturing, and we are the largest or only logistic type certified. We have participated in a lot of defense-based logistic trials that we have given in multiple places. So this is all about different companies and portfolio, and then highlights of them. And security monitoring is something that we are launching right this month, and with the event TMA, Team Monitoring Association, that is coming up in October 8th. So that's where we are going to launch with the VMS and monitoring alerts with the AI-based edge analytics. So that's what the holistic view is. Rana, if you can. Yeah, in the surveillance, as I was telling, I don't want to take much time because I wanted to leave for this one. So the majority of it is e-surveillance, command and control center, video management system gets centralized so that our monitoring, we have backup center in Mangalgiri, Vijayawada, and then primary being in Hyderabad. That is what we are. We are into ATMs, we are into branches, we are into gold jewelry stores, gold loan vigilance, and city surveillance, and many other places. And we are expanding a lot drastically in the next year or so internationally as well. We do have international customer, one or two, but we wanted to scale that up and give a lot of monitoring platform and also do the monitoring services. So this is the growth path. As I was telling, Scanlytics is as a video management and monitoring platform within the SaaS. You can onboard a new customer and like that. So there is huge potential, 87 billion by 2027, and CAGR that we can expect 10% close to. But we are anticipating a lot more for our internal purposes where we can tap more on these areas. Rana, you can go to the next. Yeah, in IT, yes, we are CMMI level certified, HIPAA compliant, SOC 2. We are partner with AWS, Azure, Microsoft, and UiPath. So all of these areas is where we have expertise in. As I was telling that we have started with 70 people in in Motivity, and with JNIT 100 people back then. Now a total strength of 620 people in IT services. We do cater product development, data engineering, DevOps, AI, ML is our core forte now, and data engineering, data science is the other area where we are developing and hugely getting the needs, and staffing solution is the other pieces that we are serving as well. So yeah, with just about in the last 6 months, we have almost got Gen AI based projects of close to 6 to 7 million, and within the three different industries using the generative AI technology in data centers, then in clinical trials and all of these, and the travel industries. So these are the areas there where we have done the generative AI based projects, and we're able to. And the market is so huge, growing, and this is the area where you need to always have should be in the cutting edge technologies. That is the innovation in the digital transformation and using generative AI based solutions to predict and give you a view of both any kind of content that you can deliver and consume and transform. So that is the focus where we are putting in. Yeah, so the defense is another area where we are the only and the first DGCA type certified logistic drone. Scan drone has been given trials at the defense forces at very, very high altitude with 20 kg all the way to 40 kgs as well. When we have cleared most of these, and we have achieved first prize in the droneathon in the logistics category with when the droneathon that was conducted in Leh, Himalayas, and also we participated in the Himtech. That is a huge, huge benefit and bonus to get the start getting the orders now. We have participated in there like about 8 tenders that came up, and we have participated already in some of these tenders, and the trials are yet to come. So agri drones, we are type certified again, so that we wanted to participate in the drone DD and also do a RPTO license, which we can train the pilots and give the certifications of GCA and whatsoever that correct. And we are also into the surveillance drone, which can go into the high altitude and pretty much the things. So that is what in our drone segment and sector. We have participated, or we are the heavy load category. We are bringing more and more research development for very high heavy load payload categories as well, from 50 to 100 kgs. At a sea level, we already are capable of 80 kg payloads, but we are at a high altitudes, the ranges goes down to by 50% or more. So at this point of time, at the high altitude, we are able to succeed or get to up to a 40 kg payload. We are anticipating to get that over, and the army needs much higher heavy load drones as well at that altitudes. So we are in the process of getting that done and moving on. So heavy drone orders is what we are expected in the immediate stuff. Can you show the financials, Rana? Yeah. So as you know that we have been heading out from last 1 year, 3-year performance and 5-year performance. Right now at this kind of 6,000 valuation market cap, we are Class A, and Morgan Stanley CI small cap in the index also. So this is what we are at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Joe sir, to giving us a very good insight about the company and very interesting company. So before I start the Q&A part, I will requesting all the participants to raise hand to ask the questions. So first question we have from Chirag sir. Chirag sir, please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity, sir, and good morning, sir, for the
Hey,
opportunity.
good morning.
So, sir, I had a couple of questions. So, going on the broader view, sir, can you elaborate more on the capital structure? We have raised huge amounts of equity and debt over the past 2 years. So, can you please elaborate something on that?
Sure. Yes, we did raise about twice preferential. One is around 85-90 crores in the first when we were going for acquisition in IVIS Provisional, And then there was another capital raise of 45 crores for the tranche money that we need to pay and whatnot. And also we have raised about debt of about 150, 200 crores, primarily into serving our capex investment in the e-surveillance domain and a lot of capital investments into the R&D and whatnot. So these are the areas, one for the acquisition, and we have almost paid 300 crores with only the raising about 120, 30 crores. But the rest of the money is being utilized in the capex and doing the R&Ds in all of these areas that we have spent in.
Got it. Sir, second was on the plant acquisition. So we had announced something around 25 to 30 million acquisition for the company, which we are looking for on the BAC. So can you elaborate more on that?
Yes, I cannot give exact numbers, but it's an ITES company, which I do not want to name until unless we do the entire SPA and close that deal. So it is coming into the more or less about close to 300 people company, predominantly in US and back office in India. So that is the spectrum of the acquisition is what I would say, with the EBITDAs and PATs of at least 35%. So that is the areas of acquisition, and it is not in the same technology space that we are specialized into, and the customers also. So that's the reason why it is very much. These are the kind of situational that I would always go into. The technology space is a different one. So that is what it is.
Got it. Sir, are we looking to raise more funds currently?
Yes, we should be or probably opening up any either preference or QIP pretty much soon, maybe in sometime October, November timeframe maybe, um, to utilize the money in the execution of the orders that we are anticipating from drone orders from Army, and also the more and more acquisitions in the coming future as well. So, and also have to have a buffer for the tranche payments that we need to. And innovation R&D is something that we always want to, because that is the one that gives a higher way of recognition and the investors that can anticipate higher growth or futuristic growths going ahead.
So what's the total amount of fundraise that we are looking for?
About 300 to 400 crores is something that we are looking for to raise.
So, sir, that's a significant amount. So, for how much would be for the drones and how much? So, can you provide something tentative, because the amount of the amount of fund that we are raising, it's something very significant. So, can you please provide something more on the utilization part?
Sure, that's exactly where the drones itself probably is a substantial order that we might be getting and anticipating. It's in hundreds of crores, and we need to have the secure the order and immediately try to deliver that. So about 150 crores to 200 crores would only be needed in the drones side of it. And the rest of that is something that we are trying to expand and scale, and in the e-surveillance kind of an area, and utilize some portion of it, part of the acquisitions that we are going to do. So these are multifold. Like if you look at 25 million, it's almost like 150 to 200 crores, looking at that size of that acquisition. So it is multiple reasons, and it is not just this acquisition. There are few more acquisitions that I need to do and want to do, pretty much in the surveillance domain, so that we get the opportunity to be in the different geography and able to immediately utilize our platform and our solution to minimize and all of that, and also the L1 bringing to India and serve that. So that is the huge areas of things that we are looking into, and certain thing I wanted to utilize for a next gen R&D side of it, be it chip designing, be it some other areas. I always wanted to be in an innovation space, be it in the next gen heavy drones that we wanted to. All of these are the some of the areas that we want to, and I'm sure that I can convince the investors and raise these kind of money.
Got it. Sir, I have few more questions. I will get back in the queue.
Sure, there are a lot of other waiting, I guess.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question we have from Yachna. Yachna, please go ahead.
Hi. My questions were largely around this heavy payload drone space. So I just wanted to understand, what is the total opportunity size in this? What is the kind of requirement if I'm looking at, say, 3 years out? Also, who are the other players in this space apart from you who got approval? So I saw one name called Mistral. I don't know how many more are there. And how do you differentiate yourself, versus the others? Is it, payloads are different. So if I got it right, you mentioned around 40 kgs. Where are the rest? If you could just give us a comparison about, how do you place your company versus the peers in the space?
Yeah. So Rana, I think I wanted to leave some space to you. So if you can take that question, that would be
Joe.
a great thing.
Right. So last week, Yashna, there was a him dronathon which happened in Leh, and it was at the altitude of 15,300, where we were supposed to go 17,500. Scandron did exceptionally well in the payload of 20 kgs and 30 kgs, and we actually touched down to 18,000 feet over there, which was the reason Scandron was the winner of this whole dronathon. Mistral, they were the runner-up because they were not able to complete the task. They just went over there, they hover it down and came back. Second part of this thing is, the Scandron is the only certified logistic company in India as of today. So if anybody wants to start the commercial operations where they wanted to go ahead and do the drone deliveries, they only have to have a DGCA type certified drone, which only Scandron is having as of now. And as you know, the DGCA queue is very open and transparent, where you can actually go and see how many number of applications are there in the logistic domain. So you will not find anything which is coming closer to another, I would say another 6 to 9 months, which is actually getting into the processing. Mistral does not still have any DGCA type certified drone. I hope that answers the query.
Sure. I just didn't catch that part about what they did about going there and however, if you could just elaborate on that.
So there are 20 companies which actually reached into Dronathon. It was actually done by Army because, when we were there, so one of the brigadier, Mr. Bhati, he wanted to actually organize this whole thing because last year when the drone, there was some RFPs around having some logistic drone, and defense really need, logistic drones as of now to solve the issues at the high altitude when there is very extreme conditions, heavy snow and all that. Last year, I think more than 50 company applied, and no one was able to actually qualify. There were only handful of companies which actually went ahead and completed the task. I'm not sure if you have been closely following the drone industry, but one of the company which actually got the tender, that was also blacklisted along with 3 other companies for some miscommitment on the way they were actually pitching in for the order. Over here in Him Dronathon, there were 20 companies, and out of that, around 6 companies which actually nominated for the logistic drones. Out of that, 2 did not turn up. 2 did not even able to take their drone out of the ground. The only 2 people who actually were able to do something was Scandron and Mistral. Mistral also was not able to complete it, and that's the reason they were runner-up, because they were not able to land and complete the task over there. So basically what happens in is logistic, that you have to go ahead and take something onto a higher altitude and deliver that material to the outposts. And that is something they were not able to land because their drone was not very stable, and that came back. And we had a very stable flight. We were able to land. They were able to take out the material. They were able to load that material, and we brought it back also. So that's where I think we came out as a winner, and we clearly had a very good traction after that from the Army. The whole point of doing this thing was Army wanted to actually see the capability, because they are going to come up with a lot of orders right now. and they really wanted to see what are the actual companies who can do this kind of a task. So that's the reason Scandron really had a very good standing and traction in the in the field of drone logistics right now. And I think post this kind of a traction, where we were also given an award by the governor of UT Ladakh, we are established like a very firm player in the drone logistic, and we had a lot of queries because the whole auditorium was filled by all the who's of the army, from different commands. So there are 7 commands, and all of the leadership was present over there. And after that, we really had a very good interaction and traction from different places where they want us to come and do the trials with them into their locations. And if that all, which we will be able to do it, because most of the use cases are at the lower altitude than what we did. We did at 18,000. They are having a use case of 14,000, 15,000, 16,000 feet also. So pretty much we are very stable to do that kind of work. Moreover, we are able to do 30 kgs. We are working on the higher payloads also. So hopefully, I think within a quarter, we might have a good news where we would be also regarded as a leader in, the picking up the heaviest payload at the high altitude. So
That's
I think,
amazing.
yeah,
So,
it
so
all
does
goes
that
well.
mean all the tenders that you were talking about, you are going to get all of them?
Well, if it is all based on competency, yes.
Mhm. And if it
I
is
mean,
pricing or
Mistral,
whatsoever, we do
Lexus
not
did
know.
not deliver, right? So how would they get the tender?
Sorry.
Mistral, I thought, was not a competition at all because they were not able to deliver it.
So right now they have not been awarded any tender, Yashna. If you see, they
Okay.
are just claiming that they have, done the trials, but the story is not complete. They have not completed the mission also over there.
And I think Yachna's question was if they are not, if there is no competition, everything should come to us, is what her question was. So let me answer that, Yachna. So there are multiple categories. We are very specialized in heavy load payloads area and the highest altitudes. There are companies that are in the medium altitudes, which is like 2,000 to 3,000 meters, or maybe 2,000 meters plus or minus, which is like 8 to 10,000 kind of areas. So there are people, and also the lowest payloads, like 10 kilos or something, that they were executing. So there were players. So most of the tenders in these at least 2 highest categories would be something that we are for sure going to have it. And if there is anybody that by then, by the tender time, if it could come, then we might be competing. That's the only thing. At this point of time, we are the only specialized in these 2 areas and categories, and we are trying to bank on that.
Sure, sure. And also, if you could elaborate on the opportunity size in this space, and you also mentioned that, 8 tenders have already come. So what kind of value are they? And where do you think this space can be, say, 3 years from now?
Yeah. So these tenders are the smaller tenders, wherein it's part of the commander power or whatsoever, 10 crore value and below that is something that it is 8 tenders specifically in the Northern Command area. We are expecting the logistic drones because we have the lot of the Northern Command uh, brigades or other regions are taking the requirements and trying to put their specifications and their needs, and the needs they are yet to come into the open gem portal tendering. So let's say if only the gem portal value that you look at, it is probably about 80 crores around tenders that are opened already. And we are anticipating at least another 10 to 20 of these in the gem portal soon. And also the heavy payload and other areas that are going to come in. And the allocation of the budget for the drone specific areas that we are hearing from a lot is an anticipation of 3,000 crores. That's been part of the EPs that are coming and the drones segment that they are trying to allocate for. So that will be the kind of size. If you look at the three tenders or the tender that was awarded and being taken out was about close to about 160 crores to 200 crores value. Only that is for the drone delivery, but there is parts, there is like 5-year maintenance that is probably another 200, 300 crores. So look at one tender value itself could be about 300 to 400 crores of that 200 drones. So similarly, you have the requirement of heavy payload 40, 50, 80, 100 or something like that is what they're talking about. Those will go in a higher ranges. So if you look at the next 3 years, definitely billions of dollars are going to be spent specifically in the drone segment.
Sure. This 3,000 crore number that you mentioned as the opportunity size, you're saying that much per year?
Meaning they are giving it as a fluid. I do not know it is going to be spent in this year, but definitely in the next 2 years is what I'm anticipating, because you cannot make utilization and delivery and people cannot be utilizing. So in the next 2-3 years is what I'm putting, but beyond that there will be much more budget being allocated or will be allocated.
Sure. Great. Thank you. That was very helpful.
Next question we have from Ravi sir. Ravi sir, please go ahead.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, I just have a couple of questions. One is on the base business, which is excluding the acquisitions. How are we looking at the business over a period of 2 to 3 years in terms of revenue and margins?
We cannot specify or quantify a number, Ravi, but definitely the growth rate or path that we are looking at it is at least 30% year-on-year growth with the regular operations. I probably meaning could reach 20-25 with regular operations. But always the acquisitions is something that I anticipate every year at least 20 to 30 million minimum of size of the acquisition that is going to be or put together or whatnot. Because the way that we are scaling, the multiplier or right direct
I think some net.
is the best way.
No, that's fine. We could hear you. Yeah.
Fine,
Okay.
sir.
So we are
On the note of-
transforming the company that we acquire always and give a year or two and then scale it up. That is how we are putting things together.
That's helpful. On the note of acquisitions, the recent one, do you have a rough timeline by when you're looking to close the recent one that you'd announced?
Yeah, we probably in the next 30 to 60 days is something that we will be trying to close. Our financial due diligence is already started. We are going to, and we have 30 days to 60 days, 90 days to the maximum that we could close, but we should be wrapping up very soon.
Okay. Sir, on the drone business, I have been following the sector. I think we are one of the niche players who are present in the high payload segment. How are you seeing this? Because this could be a space which could be disrupted technologically very quickly. But how are you seeing this maybe over a couple of years or so?
Rana, I'm putting most of some of these questions to you. I wanted active this one. If you want me to answer, I'll answer. But the future of the area is a long way for us. So Rana, go ahead.
Sure, I'll start, Joe, and maybe you can add on to that. So pretty much, if we see this sector, this is very niche and it's a very new sector which has started. And, there is a huge demand. I'm sure if you have been following, you have been seeing it also. This problem cases, especially in the defense forces and where we see, the whole situation which came up in Ukraine also, right? The whole war is actually being fought over the drones itself, right?
Drones.
Onto the other side. So this is where we have the, the complete, the field is very unexplored. We have a lot of things which is going to come up, whether that is in terms of supplying the ammunition at the forward post, supplying the the food material, medical supplies at the high altitude, and I'm not sure if you have seen the forward post, since we have been traveling and we have seen the complete Himalayan ranges starting from the Kargil side till the Sikkim, all the border areas. The conditions are very extreme over there, and now since the November will came, it is very difficult to reach those posts also at a very high altitude. It's full of snow. The lands get the roads get covered, and some of the posts completely get cut off from the regular operations. So that is where we see a huge potential which is coming. Even if you look at the policies which is coming from the defense forces also, their complete focus is on to equip their units, equip the army into the way they have to induct drone into different exercises, different capabilities, whether that's logistics, surveillance, or some other type of drone that they need to bring in, even the warfare drone of kamikaze drones, if you know that. So all those things are coming in, and I think for next, I would say 5 to 10 years, the whole thing is going to shift towards more of the advanced drones on every vertical of it.
Yeah, I've been personally there during these times, and I know the thing is really rough, and we absolutely need drones. And last question to close out: are we looking at any major order wins in this financial year in this drone segment?
Yes, we are probably very close by. I think as I was telling that these tenders that should be closing by end of October and should be probably they are anticipating to be delivered in next 4 months itself. That is just one small size of it. There are a lot of others coming up in and should be closing by end of the year. That is the anticipation. And start delivering somewhere in February, March, and at least for these 8, the delivery timelines is pretty much by end of March. They should be delivered. The tenders that came in, and definitely we are anticipating a lot more going to come with the showcase that we have already done.
And moreover, there is some emergency procurements which is expected. So usually, defense forces come up with some kind of emergency procurement around January just to utilize their budgets also. So of course, the anticipation is there with a lot of tenders coming in, especially for the drones.
Nice. All the very best, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next question we have from Naman Zanawar, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Actually, my question is, can you give the revenue bifurcation from all the subsidiaries?
Yeah, so basically at this point of time, our major revenue is coming from IT and ITES, which is almost close to 450 crores. And about e-surveillance is about 100, 120, 130 crores that we booked last year. And we are anticipating 20% at least jump to a 30% jump from what it is at this point of time. And drone is something that we have only in the services that we have done so far, and about 4 to 5 crores is something that we have ticked in last year, and we are anticipating at least a decent size, couple of 100 crores or 100 to 200 crores somewhere is what at least the order book will be, and some of them should be already been delivered by March. That is the anticipation of it. So, so that is what it is. And somewhere like if you look at it is 600, and we are probably expecting about 20 to 30% growth year on year.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Next question we are taking from Manan.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So I just had a couple of very high level questions, as in you said that you are looking for 25 to 30 million acquisitions each year. So, how is our sourcing for such deals? And it's a space where a lot of companies are active. The US companies as well as some of the Indian companies, they are trying to grow with the acquisition. So they have a so how do we source and how do we win such deals? And the second question was another high level that since we have three different lines of business, so how was the top level management? Are we having separate heads over there, or and so yeah, those are my two questions. Thank you.
Yep. So in acquisition spree, definitely there are a lot of big companies that are trying to, but it is very hard for somebody, these mid-sized companies, to sell it to them because of the time frame that it takes and the longer wait time, and also strict rules and guidelines, like things. So that is very difficult for people, and we always have been able to find these kind of right companies, but at a decent enough pricing and multiplier is what I would say. And we did not had faced any kind of situation where we were not in the race of competing and whatnot. And coming on to the direction of the utilization and the growth. What was the second question? Sorry,
So I was just wondering that let's say ITES requires different kind of scales, Dawn requires different kinds of scales.
And the managements, we are diversified, and management is also looking after each and every companies. Likewise, if you look at it, Motivity Labs, since the technology and IT side of it, Krish will be the technologists that are heading, and I am always been there. I am a technology, a hands-on guy and person that always keep up with the technology, grow. I've come from computer science background, but went into AI, ML chips, anticipating the design aspect of it, or how it gets manufactured, what is the kind of embedded code that it goes in, and how do we convert into a predictive and anticipating generative. All of these areas is the one that I always hands-on be in. And each of the heads, if you look at IVS Provigil, Kevin, operational person is something that is needed. From the technology perspective, we have other people called leaders.
Got it. Thanks.
Reason behind it. And Arjun is the drone side of it. So we have different heads, and they're
okay. Thanks a lot, and best of luck, sir.
Thank you, Manoj sir. Next question we have from Raj. Raj, please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Actually, I wanted to ask you how much will be your segment-wise EBITDA?
So if you look at on the ITES services side of it, yes, you will be about 30-35% EBITDAs and PATs of 20-25s, because it doesn't need to put the capital expenses over there, and there is no depreciation or any kind of those things there. In the e-surveillance, our EBITDA is about 50% plus, and if you look at the PAT, it's almost close to 20-25%, 25%. And in the drone also, we will anticipate pretty much at the PAT level, we are anticipating at least a minimum of 20-25%, plus or minus. The EBITDAs could be higher because of a lot of investment, and it's a capex, one-time capex based. So that is the overall. Do not want to, meaning it could be drones could be the higher EBITDAs or what. So once we get the orders and do that, we will be able to clarify and give you a more concrete way of it.
Yeah. So, sir, in FY25 and in FY26, so are we expecting an increase in our EBITDA percentage?
Yes, we have built in the efficiencies and we are able to do the SOW-based contracts and the software side of it. So that is basically you have already ready-made frameworks. You have already have things that you can, and I am going for more of a SOW statement of work kind of areas rather than giving bodies and trying to make money out of that or a T&M, time and material based. SOW based gives you a larger EBITDAs. You could go to 100% to 200% also sometimes. So because you have already have the frameworks and you do not have to put the real efforts delivering.
All right, all right. And sir, what would be our growth rate, including the acquisitions? Like you said, okay, we will be organically be able to grow around 25 to 30%, excluding acquisitions. Now, if we add up the acquisitions, how much will be our growth rate?
Now, the acquisition growth probably adds up another 10%, meaning year on year or 10 to 15%. So depending on somewhere 35 to 40% would be the average growth rate, I would say. Sometimes acquisitions could be adding up more if you are doing it later on. We wanted to increase the acquisition capability and the ability. So we try to maintain around 40+%.
40% growth rate. All right. Okay, sir. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Due to time constraint, we have to end this call here. So thank you, sir, for the insightful and very interesting company. We like it, and also yeah, very good participation on the Q&A side. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, sir, to giving us this opportunity to host you.
Great. Looks like people are following the industries and as well as our company. So thank you very much, everybody. It's definitely a very great opportunity to answer your questions, and your participation levels were excellent.